I tell Christine, I love speaking with you guys because there's such a wonderful energy here at the Center for Spiritual Living Paradise. It really is. And I know I've told the people that I've met here before, one of my favorite sayings is, I used to start every service with, "It's another beautiful day in paradise." And it had nothing to do with where, and I always say this, it has nothing to do with where you are. It's paradise is a state of mind, isn't it? A consciousness, a knowing of the truth within ourselves, and we are standing in paradise. And yes, today I'm talking about the appreciating and celebrating. And I'd like to acknowledge this week's, the contributors that helped this week were Karen Lindsley and Sydney Lehman Steen. But it's so much fun this week. I did not realize until this morning that this is like the week of Thanksgiving, right? I mean, I've been doing gratitude all month, but this is it. We're coming up to, I hope for each and every one of us, a wonderful celebration. We appreciate, celebrate, and demonstrate the growth within as we arrive and move forward along this incredible sacred continuum of our life. And the CSL Global Vision states that we envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence and discovering the creative power of thought. A world where each and every person discovers their own personal power and ability to create an individual life that works for them within a world that works for everyone. That is an incredible, wonderful vision. So yeah, we envision humanity awakening to its spiritual magnificence, discovering the creative power of thought. But when we come together like this, all of us, it's to celebrate our awakening to our spiritual magnificence and discovering together, supporting each other, the creative power of our thought so that we build our individual life that celebrates who and what we are, that we live authentically, and that we are joyful, fulfilled human beings. You know, here we are celebrating this and appreciating this and supporting each other in this. So today, I'll just start with the question, what happens when you receive a gift? You know, or you get the promotion, or you can, you know, finally afford the new car, or something wonderful happens. I mean, most of us celebrate joyfully, I'm sure. And then we're so grateful, right? At least I hope all of us here, we're very grateful that we have received this incredible gift. And that would be receiving, celebrating, and appreciating. But today, we're talking about the spiritual principle of being in gratitude first, before anything shows up in our life. And I should say, before anything else shows up in our life, because we're all breathing, right? We have a life, we have this beautiful life. So before anything else shows up in our life, before the promotion, before the vacation or the raise, or before we can afford to, you know, buy that new car, we allow ourselves, we invite ourselves to rest in gratitude for what is. Gratitude first. And here's the interesting thing. When we're in gratitude first, that feeling is so joyful. It is so clear, isn't it? That we can't help but celebrate all the things in our life before the new things show up. We're already celebrating. And that was in that song that Eddie Watkins sang. Didn't you just feel, you know, as the crescendo into the celebration for just saying, thank you, God, for everything. It's just, Ernest Holmes said, when we constructively praise and creatively bless, life abounds with love, peace, and joy. So let's live that way and think that way so that when we retire at night, it is in peace. And we know that no harm can come to our soul. And that when we rise in the morning, we're renewed in mind and body with a brighter outlook, a happier expectation, and a clearer joy. In everything, give thanks. So when we give thanks, I mean, not for the new stuff, not for the stuff we're praying for, but for that which we already have, for that which we already are, then we sleep pretty darn good at night. We sleep at night in peace. When we give thanks for what we have and what we are, we know that no harm can come to ourself. And that self is with a capital S, right? We're standing in that awareness. When we give thanks and creatively bless all that we are and all that we have right now, we rise in the morning renewed in body and mind. And when we spend each time, just a little time every day in appreciation and gratitude, Ernest Holmes says we absolutely have a brighter outlook, a happier expectation, and a clearer joy. And all this sounds wonderful, right? It sounds like positive thinking, like this, but it's so much more than that. Ernest Holmes entitled his big book, The Science of Mind and Spirit. He used the word science because he believed that we don't have to just think about this. We can prove this to ourselves. We don't have to go on faith about what I'm saying or what Ernest Holmes said or what Eddie Watkins said, or we can prove this to ourselves. We can prove God in our life. We can prove more joy, more peace, more love in our life. And now we actually, with all the psychological and physiological experiments that are being done on attitude, on the attitude of gratitude, on meditation and gratitude, on all these things, we can go to, it's pubmed.gov. You can Google it and find out that there are experiments that prove that an attitude of gratitude has so many blessings. Peer-reviewed scientific studies. So we know gratitude changes our life. I'm not going to ask you to raise your hand to how many of us are practicing gratitude. Don't raise your hand, show offs. But there's that. But it is a spiritual practice, but the results are so incredible. They will change every aspect of your life. So first, appreciate. First, we appreciate. And I had to laugh at this in Ernest Holmes. He says, an attitude of gratitude is most salutary and bespeaks the realization that we are now in heaven. Well, first, I had to look up salutary because, I'm just saying, I wanted to be very clear. And I did. I Googled it. It means beneficiary producing good results. I mean, I guessed that, but I wanted to know exactly. And then while I was there, I looked up bespeaks. It's not a word I hear every day. Bespeaks means to indicate or to be evidence of. So now that reads, an attitude of gratitude is most beneficiary and is evidence of the fact that we are now in heaven. We all know one of the great teachers in the world, Jesus, said, the kingdom of heaven is here and it is now, right here, right now. Ernest Holmes continues saying, gratitude is one of the chief graces of human existence and is crowned in heaven with the consciousness of unity. Isn't that interesting? That when we are grateful for everything that is in our life right now, not waiting for the new car, not waiting for the change in the relationship or the promotion or the gift, but when we're resting in gratitude for exactly the way things are right now, that opens up the avenue the consciousness of unity. We are one in, one with. So there is nothing opposing us in our life. There is only that which is in our life. And our consciousness is opened up to acknowledge oneness, wholeness, love, and joy. Gratitude does this. Being grateful, appreciating first. Gratitude brings joyfulness. It acknowledges the value in the things, the situations, the relationships, the events. And therefore, gratitude allows us to feel that unity with everything right here, right now. We're standing in the kingdom of heaven. Lindsley and Steen remind us that our journey, each of us, the journey that we have walked on, has brought us growth, expansion, evolution, and new understanding. In times of darkness and in light, we can still anchor in our unity of spirit with spirit in spirit by practicing gratitude. Gratitude is powerful. And we feel and we know that our journey is this continuum. And that which we call darkness or that which we call light dissolves. The boundary of good and bad, right and wrong dissolves. And all we are is standing in unity, oneness, wholeness. So gratitude aligns us in knowing that this too is God and God expressing. This too is good and good expressing. This too is enveloped in oneness and wholeness. That's powerful. That is powerful. And second, appreciate and celebrate. Second, we celebrate. And how can you not? Standing in the kingdom of heaven, I mean, things are pretty darn good here, right? Because we've dissolved, good and bad. We're standing in unity and wholeness. Teilhard de Chardin wrote, "Joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God." It's one of my favorite quotes, so I probably use it all the time. Joy. When we celebrate the activity and the presence of God in, through, and as every aspect of our life, we're celebrating our connection with and as the divine, with each other. We revel in the harvest of an ever greater expression of this life, of our wholeness, of our love. We laugh, we honor, we dance with spirit because we know and remember we're one. It's just one. We celebrate that we are unique, individualized manifestations of the one, and we get to celebrate the unique, incredible manifestations of the one as others, as everything, as every event, situation, and circumstance. Now, they had a third. I left it out on purpose, but I'm bringing out of the title, but I'm bringing it in here. They said third, demonstrate. But you and I know that when we mature spiritually, we don't do anything in order to produce a result, right? We're not going to sit in gratitude, for 5 minutes every day to get that promotion, to get that raise, to do that thing. That's okay. But in our spiritual maturity, we appreciate first, we celebrate, and then the joy. How does that not inform every single aspect of our life? We can set the intention for this incredible spiritual practice, set the time up to turn within, as Christine said before. Sometimes we just don't take the time. We're busy in our busyness. But when we set that intention, appreciate first, appreciate now, Appreciate what is. See the good in it. And don't stop until I do see the good in it. Joy rises up. The celebration begins. And the demonstration, well, Spirit is constantly changing, growing, evolving, expanding. We can expect all good things from this feeling and the recognition of unity and joy and love. We know from these teachings that having participated in gratitude, that we participate in a greater expansion of all good things in our life. This is for all of us, any of us. Karen and Sydney remind us that with gratitude and joy as our compass guiding us, we know there's only one thing we have to do: appreciate. Appreciate, appreciate. So with that guiding us as our compass, we can gracefully navigate the flow of life, the changes, the transitions, whatever's happening. They remind us that we've lived seasons of possibility, seasons of purpose, things that have come and gone in our life. We can appreciate it all. And once again, we're ready to listen for that whisper of the infinite invisible. When we're standing in the kingdom of heaven, it is easy to hear the whisper of the infinite invisible. It calls. With a new faith in our innate gifts and then our divine identity, we turn and we're filled with joy and celebration. How glorious are all the aspects of life's journey, from the hint of the new dreams to come, the beauty that surrounds us, the fullness of the harvest that we celebrate in Thanksgiving, to ongoing transitions that we know are happening. We embrace the perfect imperfection of it all. I love that phrase, the perfect imperfection of it all. That is our life. And so I'll just close with a reminder that everything happens in consciousness first. As Christine did that beautiful meditation, turn within consciously, becoming aware of that feeling that wells up as we're grateful for everything. Appreciation overwhelms, overtakes us, and joy bubbles up, out, and over, and we celebrate. What's not to celebrate? We can ask ourselves, are we willing to let gratitude and joy be the tools that we choose and use for our personal transformation? As Ernest Holmes said, the science. There's a science to this, to proving it in your life. I've been doing my little gratitude challenge on Facebook since early November. I'll keep doing it, and I know even in like the studies that talk about the time it takes to change habits or to change thoughts, and there's a big divide. I think 20 days, 21 days might be like a minimum, I think, but I stick with sort of what seems to work for me, maybe because I'm a little dense. I don't know. I'll just put it out there. 40 days is sort of a number that's in consciousness. It's in the Hebrew Bible and the Christian Bible. That 40 days. We can use gratitude as a transformational tool to move us into appreciation and celebration. What are we willing to do this month as we enter this week of Thanksgiving? And here's another interesting question. Are we willing to live in appreciation and in celebration? And this is their terms, out loud. So yeah, turn into your closet, go within, turn within, consciously appreciate. But when you celebrate, go out loud, go all out, dance around the house, dance around the yard, dance through the grocery store. Show, The only reason we're doing this is so that we live this wonderful, happy, joy-filled, satisfied life. And people look at us, they go, what do they have? They live down the street from me. I know their house. I know that old clunker they're driving. What are they so happy about? Well, we get to tell them appreciation, gratitude, joy. We're standing in the kingdom of heaven. And of course, we don't even have to use those words. What does everyone want? You think you want the promotion? You think you want the new car? You think you need the bigger house or the bigger, title, whatever it is. Why? Because we think it will make us happy. We think it will bring us joy. So we can tell them, I'm standing in joy. Now, the promotion comes, it doesn't come. I still have joy. Now, right here. So are we willing to live in appreciation and celebration out loud so that we're creating that world that works for us, and we give that example for how the world can work for everyone? And the last quote, it's Ralph Marston. With an attitude of gratitude, you'll realize that you already do have it all. Everything you could ever desire is already inside of you. Appreciate it. It's in consciousness. Appreciate it. Love it. Nurture it enough so that it is fully expressed in your life. That sounds doable, right? That's just doable. Appreciate, celebrate. And this week we can affirm today, I live in appreciation and I celebrate the magnificence that I am and in all beings. And so with that, I wish you a very happy, fun-filled, joyful Thanksgiving.